"Marry him today or leave this house with nothing," the stepmother said, loud enough for everyone to hear. Certain the broken man beside her was nothing more than a disgrace. The room froze on that sentence. It landed like a slap no one could take back. Guests stood stiff, eyes darting, breaths shallow. The young woman at the center did not flinch. Her hands were steady at her sides. Her face stayed calm, almost gentle, even as her future was pushed across the table like a burden no one wanted to touch. She was being offered to a man. Everyone whispered about a man they called unstable. A man, they said, had lost his mind. A man no one respected. And the woman forcing this union smiled, certain she had one. No one in that room knew the truth. Not about him. Not about her. And not about the storm that was quietly waking. She was called Lena. She had learned early how to be quiet. Silence had kept her safe since childhood. Silence had taught her how to watch people without letting them see her watching back. She was tall, slim, with eyes that seemed older than her years. Her beauty was not loud. It did not demand attention. It waited. Her hair was pulled back neatly, like she had dressed for duty, not celebration. There was a faint bruise on her wrist, half hidden by fabric. She did not look down when the stepmother spoke. She looked forward, steady, like someone used to carrying weight. The man beside her stood still. He did not meet anyone's eyes. His clothes were plain. His posture was stiff, almost guarded. His gaze drifted to the floor, then to the window, then back to nothing at all. People judged him in seconds. They always did. They did not see what lay behind his quiet. Lena's story had begun years earlier. Long before this room, long before this forced choice. Her mother had been warmth and patience. Her laughter smelled like clean cotton and soup simmering on slow heat. When her mother passed, the house grew cold. Her father tried, but grief hollowed him. Then came the new wife. Polite at first, smiling, careful. That smile faded once the doors closed. Lena learned the sound of footsteps that meant trouble. She learned how silence could pass unnoticed. She learned how hunger sharpened focus. She learned how to stand straight while being pushed down. When her father died, the stepmother's patience vanished. Lena became useful only when she obeyed. She cooked. She cleaned. She endured. Education became a luxury she had to earn by being invisible. Friends faded away. Dreams were packed into boxes she'd never opened. Still, she held on to one thing, her dignity, quiet, unbreakable. The man she was forced to marry had his own past, one no one bothered to ask about. His name was Adrian. Once, he had been vibrant, sharp, respected, a leader with vision. Then tragedy struck. A public loss, a betrayal, a fall so sudden, the world assumed he shattered. He did not. He withdrew. Silence became his shield. He let rumors spread. Let people assume weakness. It kept him free. It kept him watching. While they whispered, he rebuilt. Quietly, carefully. From the ground up, the ceremony moved forward without joy. The stepmother basked in control, pleased to trade Lena away to a man she believed was beneath them both. Guests avoided eye contact. No one spoke up. Silence, once again, favored cruelty. Lena stood beside Adrian, feeling the weight of a life closing behind her. She felt the rough texture of the floor under thin shoes. She smelled the heavy perfume of false smiles. Her heart beat steady, not fast. She had survived worse than this. She would survive this too. Adrian sensed her calm. It surprised him. He had expected fear, anger, tears. Instead, he felt a quiet strength beside him, like standing near deep water that does not ripple at the surface. Their eyes met once. Just once, in that glance, something passed between them. Recognition, respect, two people underestimated by the same room. Life after the marriage was not what Lena expected. There were no orders barked, no insults thrown, no threats wrapped in politeness. Adrian spoke little, but when he did, his voice was steady, kind. He gave her space, safety, silence that healed instead of hurt. Days passed, then weeks. Lena noticed patterns. Calls he took alone. Messages he read without reacting. Visitors who arrived in plain cars but carried themselves with discipline. A symbol on a ring he never removed. One evening, she saw papers spread across his desk. Numbers, plans, contracts with figures that made her breath catch. She did not ask. She had learned patience. The stepmother, meanwhile, waited for Lena to beg. To fail, to return. When no such moment came, irritation turned to rage. She spread stories. Mocked Adrian publicly, called him broken. Claimed Lena was trapped in misery. People listened until the day. Everything shifted. It happened at a public event the stepmother attended, eager to display her status. Lena and Adrian were there too. The stepmother laughed loudly, making sure others heard her remarks. She spoke of sacrifice, of burden, of marrying down. Adrian stood still. Lena stood tall. Then a quiet movement rippled through the space. People straightened. Conversations stopped. A group entered, calm and precise. Eyes sharp. Respectful nods aimed not at the stepmother, but at Adrian. The air changed. Adrian stepped forward. Not loud, not angry. Simply present. He spoke without raising his voice. This is my company. This is my event. And this is my wife. No embellishment. No demand. The truth spread like light. The man they dismissed was the architect of the empire they admired. The silence he wore was not weakness. It was choice. The stepmother's smile cracked. Color drained. Words failed her. Lena felt it then. Not triumph. Relief. The quiet kind that fills lungs after long suffocation. Adrian continued. Respect is not earned by noise. It is earned by how you treat those with less power. No one clapped. No one needed to. The silence was heavier than applause. Later, the stepmother tried to speak. Apologies stumbled out, thin and late. Adrian did not answer. Lena did. She spoke calmly. Dignity does not need permission, and silence does not mean consent. Those words traveled far. The stepmother left smaller than she arrived, not defeated by anger, but by truth. Lena and Adrian walked away together, equal. Seen in the days that followed, stories changed. People learned. Some reflected. Others pretended they always knew. Lena found herself breathing easier, standing taller. Her past no longer chased her. It stood behind her, acknowledged, no longer in control. Adrian smiled more, not wide, just enough. Their bond grew not from rescue, but from recognition. Two quiet forces choosing each other. The world is loud, the story reminds us, but power does not always shout. Sometimes it waits. Sometimes it watches. Sometimes it rises only when it must. And when it does not crush. It corrects. If this story moved you, share where you are watching from. Tell us what silence has taught you, and subscribe for more stories that honor quiet strength and unseen courage.